Welcome to this edition of Dustin's Kaleidoscope. I have the pleasure of being here with Doris Young Boyer. You are a presenter, a speaker, an author, and you are a protocol and etiquette expert.
That's true.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. I was very intrigued when I saw your bio, because when I saw etiquette expert, I immediately thought of, okay, this is where you put the fork, the salad fork, this is where you put the dinner fork, but you do so much more than that. First of all, can you explain what an etiquette, and this is, I know this is just part of what you do, but what is an etiquette and protocol expert?
What we do, simply, is to help people avoid preventable and unintentional blunders.
Okay.
That's basically what we do. And etiquette is a body of knowledge that helps people get along. It aids us in communicating with each other. And whenever people get together, you do need some rules of what works and what doesn't work, what we should do and what we should not do. So there are customs, there are rules, there are guidelines. It's a system of tools and strategies that people can use to navigate business, personal, and social life successfully.
So I know that you do a lot of work with professionals.
Yes.
Is there a certain level of professional, or are these people who are just entering the workforce, seasoned professionals, combination of both?
That's a good question, and it's a combination of a lot of things. One, we do some coaching. We will do some seminars. I'll do some coaching with people. So it depends on what it is that they need. So I may be coaching executives who are going overseas,
okay,
or who are moving to a new job, and let's say they're moving from a manager or a director to a vice president. So they may need to know how to build relationships, how to build a team, how to handle conflict. Or I may be doing seminars or coaching people who are just entering the workforce.
Okay.
And they may need to know how to work and how to get things done with and through other people. We also have a program for what I call emerging leaders, who are teens. So we work with teens who are in high school, juniors and seniors, and maybe college students who are interviewing in the workforce to get a job or to get an internship or to get into college. So we teach them the ins and outs of the art of the interview. It includes the things that you should not do, what you should say, how you should dress, how you should hold your body. So it cuts across quite a few lines.
Okay, and can you give me an example of someone who's entering the workforce? Like what kind of, you said you help them understand how to work. What specifically would you do?
It might be a college student who's who's graduating, and this is his or her first job.
Yes.
And they may not know how to work with their boss. They may not know how to get the feedback that they need. They may not know how to work with a team. They may not know how to dress for a big event that's coming up, or they may not be prepared to go to dinner with the senior executives, so we'll train them how to do that.
Oh, that's interesting, because these are things that, even though they're under the umbrella of etiquette, like learning how to get feedback, that seems like totally a standard professional type of, that would be information that you would want to get.
Absolutely. And protocol, really, they're standards. They are a set of rules. And if somebody was working for a pharmaceutical company, and when they say this is the protocol for this particular drug,
yes,
it's the same thing. It is information that everybody would have so that they would know how to behave in that particular situation. So there may be some things that are expected of that young person, and they may not know. Everybody else may know and they may not know. So we will coach them on how to have that business dinner, how to attend your first meeting, What should you say? What should you not say? Taking notes, all of those kinds of things. Things that will make you comfortable, that will give you the poise and the polish to be seen as someone that the company is going to value. All of those things fall under etiquette. Etiquette is relationships, it's leadership, it's customer service, it's earning profit. All of those things fall under the heading of etiquette and protocol. It's a very broad area.
So for the professional who's just entering the workforce, how do they find you? Or is this a component of the human resources department where they would have someone like you teach these new employees? Or is this something where a new employee would be like, I have no idea what I need to do on my first job. I need to find an etiquette and protocol expert.
It could be it could be both ways. One, the Human Resources Department may bring us in to do seminars.
Okay.
And then through those seminars, we may get a coaching client. Or another department may bring me in, the marketing department, or if there are young people let's say in the legal profession who are going to be seeing a lot of clients, they may bring us in to coach that particular person. Or someone may say, and generally it doesn't work this way, where a young person would say, gee, get me a coach. Someone in the organization will say, have you thought about, or another friend. I get a lot of referrals. I'm working with several recent college graduates, and one person who called me was referred to me by someone else who I had just coached. And that person came to me as a client because his mother called me. I knew his mom. And his mom said, he's not doing so well with this area. Could you help us? And so I did, and I worked with him, and then he referred me to somebody else. So it's referrals, or it may be a seminar that's organized by an organization, or it may be a public seminar that I give that someone may attend, or it may be a webinar.
Okay.
And people may find us through our website, or they may find us through a blog that we are connected with.
What is your website?
My website is dorisyoungboyer.com.
Okay.
So it's very easy to find me.
Okay. And is there a link to your blog on your website?
Our blog is just starting.
Okay.
But I've been on blogs with others, and there are articles, so that information is on our website.
Perfect. So you talked about the new employee. How about the seasoned veteran? Someone who is like, I've been working for 20 plus years. I know all there is to know about etiquette, and I know everything. So how do you get those people? And are they a little bit reluctant to take your advice?
Generally, it may be if a problem arises. One of the things that we cover in the area of etiquette is resolving conflict. We have a course called Crafting Critical Conversations, because very often when people attempt to resolve conflict, they may not use the proper words, they may not know the language of resolving conflict, or how to set it up, or really how to get to the base of that conflict. And we teach them through etiquette that results and relationships are both very important. So it's just not important to get to the resolve the conflict if it really damages relationships. So that's where etiquette comes in, results as well as relationships. So that may be why we work with a senior executive. Or that executive may have some interpersonal problems that is preventing him or her from going to the very next step. When I worked in corporate America in the Human Resources Department, we did succession planning. And very often we would have an executive who had reached a certain level and was positive that he or she was going to the next level. And as we did the succession plan, they would say, oh, well, she's not quite ready, or he's not quite ready. And when we would probe, we would find that it was interpersonal. It was not the technical side.
Really?
So we may find someone who is passed over because of their leadership and their team building skills. We'll work with that individual to teach them really how to build the relationship as well as achieve the results in their particular subject area.
I see. So it would be the manager of that person who needs your assistance who would refer him or her to you.
Exactly.
Okay. One part of your background that I found very interesting, because I've worked abroad and I've had more than my share of faux pas, was that you help people go to other countries as far as understanding the culture and what they can expect.
Yes.
Can you tell me exactly what you would do? Like, for example, if someone is going to China, what type of information do you give them?
We would research China.
Okay.
We would research how business is done over a meal, how business is done in the office, what they should wear, what they should not wear, what kind of gifts they should buy. We would research everything about that particular country so that we have a base of knowledge, and then we would train that person who's going abroad in all of those particular areas, teaching them what not to say.
Yes, that's important. You know, I could have used your services when I worked in Germany for a bank, and I arrived a few months before my birthday. I had no idea what the protocol was. You know, in American corporate America, you may have a birthday for everyone every month, or you may celebrate individual birthdays. Anyway, for me, they actually, on my birthday, I didn't tell anyone, but everyone formed a receiving line and shook my hand and said, "Happy birthday." I had no idea that, because I had not told anyone, but that's very common. And then after that, so I thought that was embarrassing enough, but after that, they asked, "Oh, so what did you bring in?" It was customary that you bring in pastries or coffee or tea. I knew nothing. I was complete. I had been there just a few months, but it was, you know, I could have used your services. So.
Yes. And that's the kind of thing we would work with, because that's a preventable blunder.
Exactly.
And those are the things that derail us, you know, where we just, it's like, oh God, I could have, you know, why didn't I know that? Why didn't somebody tell me that? Yes. Well, we tell you.
Yes.
We will do the research for that, and we will tell you all of those little nuances of being successful in that new post.
Yes.
And that's etiquette and protocol training. I mean, it is so key. I call it an insurance policy. So for me, if people say to me, what is etiquette? I say it's an insurance policy. It helps you prevent a situation because you've already got that knowledge. It's like you've got that policy in your pocket.
Yes.
So you know what to do.
And you can pull it out
and you can
when
pull
necessary.
it out when you need it. And the comfort that comes from that, and the freedom. Because then you can concentrate on whatever is happening at hand at the moment without worrying that, oh, right, is something going to happen, you know, that I didn't know about, because we've trained you already in all of those kinds of nuances.
So do you, we have about a minute left, so you know what, but I'm not going to start the conversation because I know we're just about to leave. So before we go to break, can you give us your website again?
My website is dorisyoungboyer.com.
Okay, so we are going to return in 30 seconds, and I am here with Doris. We're here with Doris. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds.
Local government, local educational institutions, and local community members all use cable access TV to communicate their message. They depend upon it as an affordable means of outreach. Public educational and government access television empowers local government agencies, individuals, and groups to use the media to speak directly to their constituents in a more direct and cost-effective way. Make sure everyone has a voice. Support your local PEG channels.
Welcome back to Dustin's Kaleidoscope. We are here with Doris Young-Boyer, and at the break, we were going to talk a little bit more about your background, but also about your book, Mastering the Art of Success, which we have right here.
Yes.
You said that there are some great lessons in there. Can you tell us a little bit about the book and how you came to be included in it?
The Mastering the Art of Success is an anthology.
Okay.
And there are 15 of us who give our ideas and our tips on what it takes to be successful. I'm really excited about it because it really is like a mini coaching session with all of the information that's in there. There's information from Les Brown, who is extremely well known for his ability to motivate. Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield, both of who have written quite a bit on success. These are and have been very successful.
Yes.
These are the chicken soup for the soul people.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's me. And
Absolutely.
my chapter is on the power of etiquette, and I call it etiquette power as one word, because I want people to know that etiquette is more than the right fork. and that simply etiquette is a system of tools and strategies for you to be comfortable. And once you intentionally master those tools and those strategies, you are powerful. You are poised, you are prepared and confident, and those are the traits that lead to success. And I tell people that there are I give several tips to being successful. One is surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, aligning your actions with your particular goals, mastering your etiquette power. Those are some of the tips that I give. And there are other tips from the other authors in there who talk about their own journeys to being successful. I believe very much in learning from the successes and the mistakes of others. And I think this book gives us the opportunity to get some inside, if you will, information about being successful.
One thing that you just mentioned is surrounding yourself with people who support you. That's
Yes.
very important to being succiful.
Absolutely.
Regardless of whether you are the new employee we were talking about in the previous segment or the seasoned employee. So this book, Mastering the Art of Success, it would be good for what types of who is it good for? Who should read this book?
Great question. I would certainly give it to recent college graduates because I
Okay.
think that it would provide some information to them. I also think that people who've been in the workforce for a while, seasoned professionals, will see some of themselves in some of these tips, and it may be a reminder to them of those things that have gotten them to this particular point. It is a good read, and because there are entries from 15 people, you get a different flavor. There's enough for everyone in this particular book. As I said, it's like a mini coaching session. I think being able to look at success as something that you can master, something that you can get the skills and the tools and the confidence to achieve that success, I think is just such a wonderful thing. And this book really is very helpful.
Where can people get the book?
The book can be purchased through my website, Doris Young Boyer. Once you go to the website, click on Mastering Success, and then you can purchase the book from the website.
Okay, that's awesome. That's
Yes.
awesome. So, we talked a lot about etiquette not being about where the fork should be and the knife and things like that. But do you also teach these same professionals about that?
We do. We teach dining, and my dining program is called Poised at the Plate.
I love it.
I like those play on words.
Great.
Dining is really is a metaphor for the workplace because you learn how to navigate the table. And the table tells you a lot of things. And so you want to be able to read that table. So when you sit down, based on the place setting, you'll know what you're going to have. You'll know if soup is coming, you'll know if bread's coming, you'll know if dessert is coming, you'll know what beverage you're going to have to drink. So you learn to read the table. And that's what you do in the workplace. You learn to read the workplace.
Oh, what a great analogy.
And so I tell people that that a table setting is a navigational tool. It's a map, and that's what etiquette is. It's a map that gives you the information and the confidence to read the workplace. Also, dining is something that is easy to learn. Dining tips and what you should do and what you should not do. So people are expected to know. So if you go to a dinner with a senior executive and you don't know how to manage the table, well then I would look at that person might look at you and say, well, this is such an easy thing to learn. Where else is this person not willing to put the effort to be as poised and polished as possible? It's not rocket science. Certainly we can teach you, you can get a book, but it's something that's important to know. Very small detail, but the small details count.
And this is something, as you mentioned, this could be something where you're dining with a senior executive, and this could be something that could hold you back because maybe they don't feel confident that you could go out with clients and dine with them.
Or put in the effort
Yes.
to be prepared for that eventuality.
Exactly.
And also, one of the things that's happening now is when when candidates are going for job interviews,
Yes.
and if you have two candidates that really are similar in background and experience, sometimes taking them out is the deal breaker. You will see whether or not that person knows how to manage the table. Do they know how to have a conversation with you? Do they know how to eat? And you may say, you know what, that's not the best person for us.
Oh, interesting.
And I have spoken with quite a few recruiters who've said that it has been a deal breaker. They've sent in a candidate who's been top-notch in every other area, but that's the area where they are least proficient, and it has cost them the job.
Oh, wow. That's good to hear firsthand for people who are looking for employment. Also, do you teach people how they should treat the wait staff or the host at the place where you're dining? I mean, do you also teach those skills as well?
That's all part of dining.
Okay.
So we do teach those skills. We teach how to figure out the tip, you know? I mean, that's
Something to see.
very basic. How to order from the menu. All of those things go into the dining package, and we teach those things. Making sure that you're having a conversation. You're not just there for the food. One of the seminars that we teach is, it's called, You're Not There to Eat. Because you really aren't. You know,
It's still an extension of the interview, or just
you're there
if it's when you know.
to present yourself. You're there to gain information as well as give information, and food is secondary.
Right.
So you need to make sure that you know that.
Okay, so it sounds like your services are an excellent balance, because you do, even though you stressed in the beginning that it's not just about the dining portion of etiquette and protocol, but as you so eloquently put it, you're not only are you navigating your dining experience, but you also help people navigate their professional and career experience as well.
Exactly.
With helping
and
people.
that takes place at the table.
So when people come to you, so for example, if I'm that person who is taking a 2-year job in China, you do all of the research, you find out what is acceptable, what is unacceptable, all of these different cultural things. Do you present this? How do you teach? How do you actually go about teaching your clients the specific things they need to know?
We will do the research. And then we will do a seminar, because usually it's more than one person that's going.
Okay.
We will do a seminar with those clients, going through all of the stuff that we've gathered, taking them through it step by step, demonstrating, practicing if we need to, and then if there's an area that they're unfamiliar with or not sure of, we might do some coaching with them. But we use the data that we have gathered to put together a seminar for them or a briefing for them so that they will know all the things that they should. We will then give them some things to take with them, but the most important thing is to go over it with them, to teach them, to answer their questions. And if there's a question that they have that we don't have the information, we'll get that particular information. So it is an intensive briefing, coaching, training session with people who are going on an overseas assignment.
Does this training session take place over one day where they're given all the information, over a couple of days, half a day, or does it just depend on where the person is going?
It depends on what the company will contract to do. What I recommend is that we have a one-day intensive where we go over everything, and then we have maybe 1 or 2 coaching sessions so that we can see what they've digested, what they've not digested, answer their particular questions about those things. So it could be done a couple of ways. A full day, it could be a half day, or it could be over a series of days.
And how about people who are moving from one coast to the other or in between coasts? Do you also, meaning from the West Coast to the East Coast or from the Midwest to the East? I mean, would you coach people on such small distances as well?
That's such a great question, because we always think of cultural intelligence internationally,
yes,
not just domestically. But that falls under the whole area of diversity, of really finding out what is important in another area of the country, like Minnesota. Minnesota is different than New York. How do you work with another employee from Minnesota? What's important? What's important for somebody who's coming from the South or coming to the North? We don't get a lot of calls for that kind of coaching, but when we do our diversity classes, we cover that.
Okay. We have about a minute left. So, again, where can we find your book, Mastering the Art of Success?
I'm Doris Young-Boyer, and my website is dorisyoungboyer.com. My book can be found on my website, as well as we give you information about the services that we provide. We are global protocol experts, and our goal is to help our clients avoid unintentional and preventable blunders.
Thank you so much for being on the show. I hope you'll come back and visit us again. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. That is it for this episode of Dustin's Kaleidoscope. We hope you join me next time.